this computer. One time I made a video with Allie about raw food. It was her raw food cooking demo video. It was fantastic. And she goes, but I don't really have anything to say. You know, I couldn't find a place to cut because she was just speaking constantly throughout the whole thing. Like she was so speaking constantly, there was no place to cut. And I want to have her on as a special guest tonight to talk about why some people get lots of appearances confirmed and other people don't get lots of their appearances confirmed, because she's the one who works with all of the platinum and titanium clients, and she knows who's actually doing what and who's not doing what. And I want her to talk about this whole thing because, you know, like for example, Dr. Farah Sultan, right? She's too busy. It seems like she's too busy to be on this webinar tonight, right? Oh, she's in St. Bart's. Whatever. It's, you know, in St. Bart's, you know what time it is in St. Bart's? It's 9:10 p.m. She can't be on this webinar to review her 2 clips that she finally got. Farah Sultan, you know, unfortunately, Farah Sultan is unfortunately so, I have to say this diplomatically. She is so, unaware of what she truly is. Her own self-image is so warped. Okay, is that diplomatic enough, Maggie? I see you like scratching your head. Her self-image is completely out of touch with reality. How's that? That's a nice one. And I mean that in the best way. You know, there's some people who their self-image is, oh, you know, I'm the greatest in the world, and they suck. Oh, is that you, Leon Bree? Or you're just imitating the people whose self-image is, I'm the greatest in the world, and they really suck. There are those people, but that's not Farah Sultan. Farah Sultan has the opposite self-image. And, you know, she finally does 2 TV appearances, but she doesn't show up on the webinar to get them reviewed. See what I mean? It's totally screwed up. 100% totally screwed up. I'll tell you what. Well, welcome to the end of the year, everyone. It's now December 23rd, day before Christmas Eve. Here I am doing a webinar. Every week I do my webinar. I haven't missed one since October of 2012. Do a webinar every week. I don't care. Father's Day, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Easter, Super Bowl Sunday. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Acapulco, Europe, New York City, whatever. You know, this is what I do. I deliver webinars to clients. This is something called consistency. And, you know, I want to show you a quick little video, you guys, because I looked at it for the first time. And this idea of consistency hit me right now. Hit me with your whipping stick. This idea of consistency hit me right now because of this video. Let's take a look at this quick video. Share screen. Quick time. You know, and we're definitely going to review Paul Nebb's video from this week. Very excited to see that video. But I want to watch this quick video from CNN Center, the 21 takeaways. And I noticed, you know, I got people who are like, you know, they're entitled to be on this webinar, but they're not on the webinar. They have the entitlement to be on the webinar, but they're not here. I don't see them on the webinar. And I have these people complaining that I'm not giving them the videos from CNN, which I never promised anyone. I never promised anyone that I would give them the videos from CNN. And this is the first time I looked at this video was last night. And I wasn't particularly happy with it because I thought there was so much more that I talked about at CNN. And this is like, you know, whoever cut this video, they left a lot out. But let's take a look at this video because it's still worthwhile. Take a look, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it.
When you are a speaker at an event, never ever have anybody introduce you. They will suck so bad that by the time they're 10 seconds into the intro, half the audience will be on their way out the door. That's why Allie and I had to make this hologram version of me to introduce me to you. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's have you up on your feet. Put your hands together for the man who put the miracle in the Instant Marketing Miracle event, your BFF, celebrity entrepreneur, Clint Arthur!
Yeah! Yeah! Wow! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. That was the first takeaway. I promised you guys 21 massive takeaways, or I would give you your money back. I'm going to keep a running tally. That was number one. When you're a speaker, never have anybody else introduce you. You either need some kind of a speaker sizzle reel introduction, or you need a hologram, or just don't have anybody introduce you. Just walk on the stage and take the room. All right, the next takeaway. One idea per page. These books that I gave you, the one idea per page books, that's a whole book of one idea per page. That's how I actually take notes in my real personal life. Here's one idea per page. Here's the 21 takeaways that I've already written down for you. I started just compiling them. This is one idea per page. See, it's real. Here, see, this is how I actually take notes. This is how you'll be able to find the ideas. 6 years from now, you're like, oh man, I remember somebody said something really good at that conference at CNN Center. If you don't write one idea per page, if you just take page after page of cryptic little tiny notes, you'll never find the stuff that you want. Never. We are at war. There is a war going on in this country. Raise your hand if you're a business owner. Look around the room. You learn more looking around the room than you will looking at me. Everybody in this room is a business owner. You are the target of the war. We are the target of the war. In case you haven't noticed, Costco is open. Home Depot is open. UPS, Amazon, everybody's open except us. Attila Gym. Who's heard of Attila Gym? Right? Look around the room. Everybody's heard of Attila Gym. They have to break into their own gym to stay open. It's a war on you. And your first weapon in this war is knowing who you are. You got to know who you are. You got to know who you are, what you're capable of, and what you're not willing to tolerate. What you're willing to stand for, what you're willing to fight for. Because the whole world is trying to stop us right now. That would be your third big takeaway. Okay? Number one was never have anybody introduce you. Number two, one idea per page. Number three, you're at war, and the war is against you, the small business owner. Takeaway number four, how are you going to stand out? Okay, my brothers and sisters, we are at war. I would like you to seize this moment, this peak state moment. You got to ask yourself that question. If this is going to be the last year of your life, what would you want to accomplish? Seize the moment right now. You're in a peak state right now. Open up to a page. Write down, if this was going to be the last year of my life, I would want to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Write down at least one thing. I want to recommend that you take this exercise seriously and write down a list of 20 things you would do if this was the last year of your life. And if you keep reading that list every week
for the next 12 months, you'll be amazed at how many of the things you will accomplish if you really just keep it on your mind and keep moving forward with your last year of your life project. That question, what if this was going to be the last year of my life? That question took me all the way to the Today Show, where I was interviewed by Brooke Shields and Willie Geist. That's the power of a great question like that. One idea. So takeaway number 4 from this conference is live this year as if it's going to be the last year of your life. Number 5 is a two-parter, so it's a bonus for you. This is a recurring theme that I've heard over and over and over from many of the celebrities that I've met in my adventures, that anything is possible. Buzz Aldrin said the same thing. I said, Buzz, what's the most important thing you ever learned? Anything is possible. Guy went to the moon. I said to Martha Stewart, Martha, do rich people work hard? And she said, every self-made rich person I know works hard. Isn't that what she said? That's exactly what she said. Every self-made rich person works hard. See, I used to be conflicted about whether or not I should let people know how hard Allie and I work. You'll very often get text messages or emails or Facebook Messenger messages from us at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's the kind of person I am. I want to leave no stone unturned because I know that when the rubber hits the road, it's me who's responsible. Rich people work hard. So if you're a self-made rich person. That's takeaway number 5. Who here would like to be further along in their career? Look around the room. And I'm raising my hand too. Everybody, right? There's a million things that you don't have. But if you continuously worry about what you don't have, you're never going to get anywhere. What you need to do is focus on what you have. That's takeaway number 6. Yes? Focus on what you have, not what you don't have. I've been doing weekly webinars since 2012. I have not missed one week. Allie said, are you going to do the webinar this week on Wednesday? I'm like, yeah, of course I'm going to do the webinar this week on Wednesday. I've never missed a week. New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving, Father's Day, I don't care. It's a discipline that I have. I do a webinar every single week, and it's one of the things that's helped me to become a better coach, a better speaker, a better video presenter. And I think it also has provided an amazing level of consistency for my clients. I present a consistent product to the clients. You can count on there being a webinar every single week. Consistency is the most underappreciated product attribute in business, especially with service providers. Consistency. Takeaway number 7. Create it, develop it, benefit from it.
All right. Stop that share. You guys, some of you guys were there. Who was there? Good. I mean, there was a lot more. What do you think, Leon? There was a lot more there when I said it originally. This turned out to be only like 8 minutes and 58 seconds, right? I thought this took me like an hour. You like how tight it is, or do you think it should be longer, Leon?
It depends for what purpose, one. And two, I like when it's tighter. Uh, Cut out the fluff and only have the
There's
most
no fluff.
valuable.
There's no fluff, Lena. Everything is, maybe there were some pauses, but I speak with
The
pauses on
silence,
purpose,
yeah, the silence, the pauses, the things that don't contribute. Make it as valuable as possible. If you're editing the video, the first version is not the last version. Usually, the third version is the one that is pretty decent. So you keep cutting stuff out and only leave the most valuable stuff, so that the viewer can pay attention 100% of the time.
Part of me wants to go back. Part of me wants to sell this as, I think part of me wants to use this as a freemium. Like, okay, this is the tightest, most bare bones version of this. If you want the unedited version, it's $89 or something like that. What do you think, Maggie? Hold on. There you go.
I was actually taking notes and I was there. So to me, this isn't about whether you edit it or not edit it. You're always teaching us it's good enough. To me, what this is leaving them wanting more. This is showing that you deliver. It's like a great trailer to then sell all of them, because they were all great and there was obviously more and more and more. So this is the first 7. If you want the others, that costs this, but then you're showing that it's real content. I wouldn't worry about the pauses and the rest of the shenanigans, because then you're worried about the delivery. This is good content.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a lot of content that didn't make it in here. For example, I know.
But this is just the first 7. This is the preview.
No, I get it, but I mean, even in the one with anything is possible, I'm pretty sure that I said, when I asked Martha Stewart what's the most important thing she ever learned, she said, my daddy told me that I could do anything, and I believed him. And then Buzz Aldrin also told me that anything was possible at West Point. See, there was more that this editor.
Right, but when you do the trailer, you can say that. You can say these are little bits of the first 7. There's more with each, and there's so many more to talk about. Like, you could say that in the trailer if you want. That could be voiceover.
What you're saying is that you think that this is just a trailer for
this
the
is a
full
snippet
product
of what you gave us. Yes, it was so much longer than this. This is only 7. You numbered them on the thing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, what about Rebecca Hunton? She says me.
I'm muted. There I am. I'm
There you go.
unmuted. I'm out walking the dogs in the dark.
Oh, walking the dog.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Walking the dogs in the dark in Florida. So I don't think you can see me even if I put my picture on, because it's so dark out here.
That's okay. You got a nice headshot.
But I kind of agree with Maggie that using it. Am I breaking up?
You're good.
Am I breaking?
No, you were good there for a second. Oh, now she unmuted. Now she muted again. Are you there? There you go.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
Good.
Yeah. All of a sudden it froze. I agree with Maggie, Clint, that there was like 28 or 29. I think you could do a professional production if you wanted to. Videoing it in front of a live audience is not a production. I think it could be a trailer to promote you outside of, where you are. And I could see this being split into, like, a lot of people do these Facebook things to land ads or LinkedIn. I really think that could be something you could use for marketing. But learned a lot from you, and you were awesome there.
You think it was just you think this is a good teaser? You think this is a good, like, freemium that will entice people to want to want to get more?
I want to add too that the pauses allowed me to fill in the 20 things that I want to get done in the year. So like even now, and I was there, and it still provided value for me.
Yep. Okay. Well, I mean, just so you know, there are 2 more videos that they made for me, right? You know, they gave me this one was basically 9 minutes. And then there's another one that has takeaways number 8 through 17. Let's see. Takeaways number 8 through 18, and then numbers 19 through 28. That's, you know, and each one is like 10 minutes or something like that. But
do you agree with what he trimmed? Because Martha Stewart's kind of a great story.
I know. That's the whole thing. You know, look, I as a teaser, you know, this allows me to go and market the whole thing and say, hey, look, if you thought this was good, then wait till you see the unedited version. Because really, what I did at CNN Center, Ali, I don't need you to make any more. I don't think I need them to do another edit of this. Okay. I'm not complaining. I think that this is a good teaser, and that, you know, what I think what I will sell is the unedited version of these talks that I gave, which I think amounted to more than like there's definitely more than 2 hours of content. And there's, you know, this is only 30 minutes. And there's a lot of good stuff that was cut out by the editors who meant well, but were not really, you know, marketing experts like me, and don't really understand what I'm really trying to teach. And I can't blame them, because there's very few people who really understand what I'm trying to teach. Very few people.
Yeah, and I have 33, and didn't somebody else have like 1,000,004 takeaways?
Yeah, Kurt Francis says it was 158.
Right. He might be good to talk to before you sell it.
Yeah, you know what I really think, I think the overall product will be the unedited video of everything that I said. And then I think I'll do another interview with Kurt Francis as we go through his 158 takeaways and discuss them.
And you could actually do a bonus of a transcript if they ordered now, because having them written down is kind of excellent. So you could offer that as, you know, for people to take action. Just a thought.
Yeah, I tell you, there's so much content, and I've been working on more content, you know. Let's see. See this right here. See what that says? Right? You guys are starting to see the New York Academy of Medicine and the Rainbow Room and the interviews at WABC. You're starting to see that content dripping out. And, you know, I've noticed Maggie Hunt's getting a lot of praise for her interview. That was a fantastic interview. That was a really fantastic interview. And I don't know that my voice sounds as good on this webinar as it did in that interview. Because, man, that was some good sound quality, I have to say. And you did really great. And I will be, see, the challenge with everything that we do is that everybody gets all the content, and as soon as they get it, they just want to use it immediately. And that's why we don't deliver it all at the same time, because we used to deliver it all at the same time, and then people would just dump everything all at one time.
80 photos.
Yeah, 80 pictures. Everybody would put their videos out on the same day, you know. And what we do now is we drip the assets out slowly, so that the internet is not inundated with all of our great marketing for you guys. It gives each of you the opportunity to stand out a little more from the crowd, and to create more of more mystery as to, oh my God, how did you get that? I love the people who are like, oh my God, what an honor to be on the NASDAQ Jumbotron. You know, Kien Vu, Dr. Kien Vu, you saw his, right? And he put that up. And people are like, oh my God, what a great honor that you're on the NASDAQ Jumbotron. That's so amazing. How did you make that happen? It's like, yeah, okay. People don't understand anything. You understand that? This should really give you some idea as to how people don't understand anything at all about marketing. Nothing. They know.
But
They
they
know.
are uber impressed.
And you know what? They should be uber impressed by the NASDAQ Jumbotron. It's a very impressive thing. And the fact that you guys got it, you know, how did you get that? Your answer should be who you know is more important than what you know. That should really be your answer. When people ask you, I know, you know, my mentor hooked me up. My mentor hooked me up. That should be your answer. My mentor hooked me up, because you know what that's going to do? For anybody smart, if you know anybody smart who wants to have more impact, influence, and income, they're going to say, well, who the hell is this mentor and how much does he cost and can I get in on it? And if they say that, then you take them to clint.com, CLINTTT.com, and you have them fill out the application and put your name in there, and then you get 20%. And on a $28,000 investment, that's $5,500 and change for you.
So you wouldn't say Clint right off the bat. You'd say my mentor. And
Yeah,
then,
you say
then
my
they
mentor.
ask you if they're interested.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. How, oh my God, how did you do that? How did you do this? How did you do that? My mentor hooked me up. I've got a really amazing mentor, and he's helping me to have more impact, influence, and income as an expert. You're an expert too. What are you doing to have more impact, influence, and impact, my friend? How do you, what are you doing to try to make stuff happen in your career? Are you just hoping, or are you trying to do stuff to make it happen? Because I'll tell you what, it doesn't just drop out of the sky. Not for me anyway. You know, even the only thing that ever dropped out of the sky for me was getting on the Today Show. And you know how I really think I made that happen? By going with Sandy Missouri to the Today Show the week before. I mean, if I hadn't done that, I don't think it would have happened. I showed up in my Clint Arthur suit. I'm on set coaching an on-air talent. You know, they have my name. They know who I am. I have to show my driver's license to get in. They know who I am. How the hell else could they have found me? I have no idea. And neither did they. And that really goes to my overriding principle. What's my overriding principle, Maggie? What's my most important principle, Maggie?
What's my most important principle?
All right, Paul, what do you think it is?
Get what you can get where you can get it.
That's good. Get what you can get when you can get it. That's good, but that's not my most important principle. What do I say every freaking time? What do I say all the time from the beginning? And as easy as it is, it's the hardest thing for a lot of people. So many people couldn't do it. You know what it is, Leon? What is it?
Just show up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just show up. And when I made it possible for Sandy Missouri to get booked on the Today Show, how did I make it possible for her? Because I kept her out of her own damn way. When she was negotiating the appearance back and forth with the producer, I mean, 20 minutes after she finally executed what I told her to do, okay? She spent a whole day cold calling, couldn't get anyone to answer the phone, calls me crying. No one will answer my call. No one will talk to me. I said, shut up and get back on the phone tomorrow. She got back on the phone the next day. She made one call. 20 minutes later, she had her first email from the producer who booked her on the show. Now, she had done 17 appearances in 2.5 months. 17 television appearances in 2.5 months. All across America. And her 18th appearance was on the Today Show. And when she was going to make all of these long emails, she was going, you know, she like sends me the email. She's like, is this okay to send before I send it? I'm like, it's a lucky thing you didn't send this, because no, instead of this 5,000 word email, you should just say, that sounds great. Am I confirmed? What is the date that you want me? And what is the studio location? Question mark. Period. That's it. You know, I kept her out of her own damn way. And then she gets booked on the show, and I was in Orlando, Florida, coaching 2 different titanium clients. We had a little mastermind. We played golf. We all went out to dinner. It was fantastic. And I tell them, wow, you guys, it's really exciting. You know, here we are, we're in Orlando. You're all going on in these national shows, shooting out of Orlando. That was like, those were the shows, those were the precursors to Hugo. You know, Hugo has his show right now. It's produced by the same lady who was producing those national shows in Orlando back in 2013. And I said to one of those titanium clients, I said, yeah, Sandy's going to go on the Today Show on Monday. And he goes, are you going? And I go, I can't go. I don't have any suits. I don't have any clothes. I'm here in Orlando. I just brought summer clothes. It's freaking freezing in New York City. I can't go. And he goes, you got to go. You got to go. And I'm like, I guess so. That's the beginning of Just Show Up. Because I tell you what, if I didn't show up for that, I sincerely doubt that I would have appeared on the Today Show 1 week later. I bought a suit. I went to New York. It turns out it wasn't even cold. It wasn't even cold. I bought a suit. I went to New York. I coached her on the thing. There we were. You got to show up. You got to show up on these. Hugo.
He loved it and he hasn't played it. And I made the mistake of not singing for Thanksgiving because he told me he wanted it for Thanksgiving. And I said holidays. So I thought maybe he's waiting for Christmas, but he hasn't played it yet. And TV video clips confirm that with me. So tomorrow's the day before Christmas. Maybe it's tomorrow. I don't know.
Hey, Allie, can you find out about Hugo?
He loved
when it's
it.
going to air Maggie's segment? It's on the holidays, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the problem when you don't have live appearances. Remember, if they ever offer you, if they say, you know, we only can do 2 minutes if you want to do it live, but if you want to do a recording, then we could give you like 4.5 minutes. Oh no, I'll take the live hit. Always say that. Always, always, always go live. Never, ever accept a recorded interview if you can do a live one. Never, never. Okay. All right. I see Sheetal is on here, and it's nice to see Sheetal, though she's late. She has a segment. That's good. All right. We're going to do Paul Neb, and then we're going to go to Sheetal. Okay. And that's good. Wow. Look at Paul Neb. See, he knows how to do this. I tell you what, Paul Neb has come a long way. He really has. Paul, we did some coaching on the phone. Platinum and Titanium are entitled to phone coaching before every segment. You and I did some phone coaching on Sunday night, right?
Yes, we did.
That was some advanced phone coaching.
That was great.
That was some advanced phone coaching. I mean, look, I'd never really done that kind of coaching with you before, right?
No, it was good.
Different level of coaching, right? You know why? You. See, you hadn't been ready for it before.
Agreed.
Yeah. You've come a long way, Paul. You really have come a long way. This is look at the guy. He's smiling all the time. That's really
we haven't watched the clip yet. Wait, we haven't watched it.
That's good. That's really good. You know, smiling all the time is the hardest part. And you're doing it. And that's why I was able to go to the next level of coaching for you, because you are transforming. How else is that showing up for you?
The way that I talk to clients, prospects, peers.
Can you give us any examples, any concrete, specific examples?
Yeah, I know. I got a number of comments on my Facebook feed, and one of the, I kind of stole one of your lines, Clint. You know, people were like, "I thought you're a tech guy. I didn't know you were an ambulance guy." I'm like, I'm multidimensional.
That's good. That's good. I tell you what, there's a book that I've been meaning to write. I say that you need to be, in order to really land a client, you cannot be one-dimensional. If you're just the tech guy, well, there's a million guys who are just the tech guy. And there's a million guys who are just the tech guy who are great. They're great tech guys. You can just sign up. You want just good tech? You know, I call Apple. I need good tech support on my iPhone. I just call Apple. And they provide me with good tech. Hello, this is Chris. Thank you for calling Apple. May I ask the name? May I ask your name, please? Right? It's just Chris or whoever it is. They don't even get a survey. You know, when you call GoDaddy, they ask you to give them a survey, right? Apple, they don't even get a survey because they're just cogs in a wheel. And there's a million of those cogs in a wheel. I've called Apple over the years, probably 50 times. I've had great service on 48 of those 50 times. I can remember the 2 times when I did not have great service. And you know what would happen when I would get one of those people? I'd say, I don't think this is really working for me right now. I'm going to hang up. And then I call right back and I get somebody else, and it's fantastic. And I really advise, you know, there's certain people, when you get a certain person on tech support and you can hear in their voice that they're not going to work for you, right? You could just hear it. What I do is I will say, hey, I really got to go. Sorry, click. And then I just call right back and get another one. But then there are people who are 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional. And I say you need to be at least 3-dimensional if you want to get the really good clients to pay you really good money. Okay. I have this book that I've been meaning to write, and it's along the lines of Your Reality Series. Have you read my book, Your Reality Series, Paul? No?
Not that one, no.
How could you not have read this? When I was at CNN, I'm like, hey, who's downloaded Your Reality Series? Maggie read it. Leon, did you read it? You didn't read Your Reality Series?
No, men don't read books.
Men don't read books. This is a good book you should read, I'm telling you. Yeah,
It's
yeah, I know.
fast. It
I,
is a lot of pictures.
it's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, it's a super fast read. You could read it.
It's a super fast read. It's less than an hour. And you should get it. And this other book that I want to write is called 7M Selling. 7M, number 7, M like Mary. And that stands for 7 modalities. Because what I say is you want to be 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional, show up using different modalities of marketing. Well, what does that mean? Well, one modality of marketing would be the phone. That's a great modality. Another modality of marketing would be to send them an email. That's a very weak modality of marketing that I hate, right? A third modality of marketing would be to send them a text. All right. That's a good modality. Okay. But now think about this. Now, when you go to the 4th dimension and you connect with them on LinkedIn, or you friend them on Facebook, now think about how much more information that person has about you when they take like the briefest cursory look at who you are and what you're all about. When they accept your friend request on LinkedIn or on Facebook, now they're going to see, oh, wow, I didn't know you were a EMT, Paul. See? Now, not only are you friending them on Facebook, now you've also hit them with a TV appearance communication. That's now the 5th dimension. Think about what a different salesperson you are when you have ascended beyond telephone, beyond text, beyond email to LinkedIn or Facebook plus television. Now you're 5-dimensional with including TV. Whoa. And they're seeing all kinds of aspects of you that they never knew before. Like, wow, when were you in Acapulco? What kind of crazy place was that in Acapulco that you went to, right? Wow, I didn't know you were a speaker. I watched that video of you speaking at CNN Center. That was pretty great. Now you're on that. Now you're 6 dimensions.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that another dimension or is that something that gets you?
That's a whole nother dimension. That's communication from the stage. That's stage marketing. Wow, I heard you on that radio show, The Greatest Show of All Time. That was a really good interview. Mm-hmm. That's 7 dimensions of marketing. And, you know, that's, I used to call it 7M marketing, 7 modalities. If you could hit 7, it's really hard for them to resist. That's another book I got to write. I'm really excited to do that one because, you know, creating this book, Your Reality. What'd you say?
Celebrity Association.
Yeah, I saw your picture with Dr. Oz on that Zoom. How did that happen? Celebrity.
Oh, there's 8 now. Ooh,
yeah, there's
celebrity
8.
marketing.
Yeah.
I think we need another Acapulco book writing.
I'm, you know, I can just knock this one out. I just haven't done it. And I'll tell you why I haven't done it, because I didn't realize that I should be writing books for the phone. And when I'm writing books for the phone and I'm laying it out on a page using 24-point letters and giant pictures, because I know on the phone it just looks little. Man, it's a lot faster to make a book when you're using 24-point type than it is when you're writing in 14-point type. It's like almost
Plus, it
twice
leads
as
to
fast.
you, right? Like you're the one who can deliver. You're selling them all this stuff, and then guess who happens to deliver all of that? I mean, it's perfect.
Well, yeah, but I also invented this whole 7M marketing thing, right? I invented 7M marketing.
Oh, I see the intro right now. You've probably already written it.
I don't want to give away the whole secret in just the intro. You see, that's the problem. But in any case, that's
So
really
that's
great.
about the author in the back.
In any case, that's really great, Paul, that people are saying to you, I didn't know you were an EMT. That's exactly what we want. We want them to be intrigued by you. We want them to be more interested in you. And we want them to see you as having more dimensions than they previously saw you before. When we first started with you, you were much closer. I'm not saying you were the guy, but you were much closer to Allie's appraisal of most IT guys who look at their own shoes when they're talking to you. And then the ones who are good communicators, they look at your shoes when they're talking to you. But that's not you I don't know that that ever was you. I'm not saying that ever was you, but I'm saying that's not you now. That's for sure not you now. Okay? And this is really great. All right, let's take a look at what we got going on here. I need to start a share. Let's get rid of these takeaways.
Live from across Northern California, happy holidays from Good Day.
All right, what if we...
Well, that's the wrong clip. We need to do the right clip. We're going to go to Sheetal in a little bit. First, we're going to Paul Neb. Paul.
Local news that matters. This is KC24 News Sunrise.
Still ahead, what to know if you have to call an ambulance. Some life-saving tips when we come back. Welcome back. And safety matters as people are staying home more than ever.
Okay. This is so great. I mean, look at Paul Neb. It's like, dude, you look so great. You look like such a nice guy. You look like such a nice guy. Now,
I couldn't see what was interviewing me. I would have smiled more.
oh yeah, I bet you would. I surely bet you would. I need you to, look. Lighting. First of all, Allie says you need a different background.
Okay.
Right? You need to have a colorful background, not a white background. Because remember, what we're doing for these producers is we are producing the segments for them. And you're producing TV, and it would be ideal if you did not have a white background. I would say don't get a blue background because most TV sets are blue. Look at Maggie's background. That orange background that she has, so great. And what we're trying to do is provide compelling imagery for these producers that they're like, wow, that segment we did with Paul really looked great. Okay. But I love how you're smiling. I love how you've got the most fashionable headset on, the ear pods or whatever they are, the iPods, whatever it is. That's like what all the slickest guests use. You've got your stethoscope and you've got your shirt from your uniform. That's all really good. My main criticism, I have two main criticisms. Number one, the background. Number two, you have very dark shadows under your eyes. Now, you have two alternatives here. Number one, you need to either fix them by lighting your face better illumination, or if illumination is not the issue, and I don't know that it is or is not, if illumination is not the issue, then you may need to get some makeup to cover those dark bags under your eyes. Why? Because this is showbiz. And you look so young. You're so young and handsome in this video. If we could just get rid of those dark bags under your eyes, it'd be really good. All right, let's continue.
An emergency could happen in the comfort of your own home. There are some important things you should know to prepare for first responders. Joining us live is Paul Nebb. He's an EMT from New Jersey, and he has some tips if you have to call 911 for an ambulance. Good morning, Paul. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Hey, great to be here.
I want to stop right here for a second. I would like all the women on this webinar to look at the female host. She's wearing her microphone pack like clipped onto the back of her dress. It's very distracting. I think it's unprofessional. Usually they would clip those things underneath on their bra strap or on a garter. I advise women, I always advise women, and this is exactly why I always advise women, if you're going to wear a dress, which I'm against in the first place, right? I believe you should be wearing black pants, a neon colored, solid colored, no print, shiny blouse, and maybe like a navy blue blazer or a red blazer, something like that. If you will not listen to Clint and do what Clint says when it comes to the costume, and you insist on wearing a dress, then
No shiny blouse? I thought you liked shiny.
Shiny blouse, yeah, shiny blouse.
Oh, shiny blouse. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. If you are not going to do what Clint says when it comes to costume, and you insist on wearing a dress for some crazy fashion reason, I have no idea why, then wear a belt with the dress so that you can clip the microphone pack onto your belt. Or wear a garter around the bottom of your leg so that you can clip that mic pack onto your garter or something like that. Okay, you've got to account for the mic. See, this is a host who is pretending like she's not responsible for wearing a microphone properly. And that's just absurd. That's why I'm saying this host is almost unprofessional. That's why she's only working at Fresno, California. I mean, really, if she was more professional, she'd be working maybe in San Diego, which is a much bigger market. All right, let's continue.
And Paul, I have makeup. I have makeup because I have dark bags under my eyes. I always have. And so I can suggest it to you on what you could use. It's not cheap.
Awesome.
I'm sure you could find other stuff, but I have it.
Hey man,
Awesome.
I have makeup. Look, I just reach in my bag. In my briefcase is this makeup. Okay, it is Almay Clear Complexion Concealer. Where did I buy this? At CVS.
Right.
How much was it? $10. If I ever have anything on my face that I want to conceal, I just reach into my briefcase and pull out this concealer. You know how many times I've used it in the last 4 years? Maybe once. That one time I needed it though, I had it, right? I just go to CVS and buy yourself some makeup in the makeup section. Try to make it match your skin tone the best you can. Something is better than nothing, okay? Do your best. I mean, these are Clint Arthurisms. Something is better than nothing. Do your best, right? Do the best you can.
And Paul said he was cheap, so he'll love that.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's continue. Let's go back a little. I want to hear Paul's opening because we worked on his opening a lot.
We did.
How many times did you rehearse the opening, Paul?
About 100 times.
100 times. You hear that, people? I saw Ilya Skolnikov pop on this webinar. He rehearsed his opening sentence. Now, I call the opening sentence the mount. You know, a gymnast has a mount and a dismount.
And of course,
go ahead.
I was going to say, she started the pre-interview like, oh, I'm going to ask you questions on what to do and when you how to dial 911 and things like that. And you'll see, I did totally, like just start going and not stop, so that she didn't start asking me questions that I.
Hey, you have to control the interview.
Ambulance. Good morning, Paul. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Hey, great to be here. Hey, did you know that in Fresno there's over 900 calls made to 911 every day? Many of those calls result in the dispatch of an ambulance.
Wow.
2 thumbs up.
Cool.
That's a mount you can be proud of. He made it look easy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that was not an easy mount. He rehearsed it 100 times on Sunday night. and that's after Celebrity Launchpad, because I tweaked it. I tweaked it during the coaching call, because I remember, look, at Celebrity Launchpad, there's only so much I can do for you, you know? At Celebrity Launchpad, I need you to know your pitch cold. You need to know it beyond memorization before you show up. If you don't know it beyond memorization before you show up, then you're going to be struggling the whole time trying to learn it. And at Celebrity Launchpad, there's between 12 and 15 people there. There's a lot of little tiny tweaks and details that I would like to do, but I can't get to everyone. I got to pick my battles. But I remember there was a few things that I wanted to do that I remembered from Celebrity Launchpad, and on this coaching call, we were able to get them. And part of it was getting this opening, this mount correct.
In my 16 years as an emergency medical technician protecting my community, I've been on all kinds of calls, from delivering babies to using CPR to reviving people from the dead. And in these times of COVID, these last 7 months, on the front lines in this war, the same is true.
Boom. Reviving people from the dead. And he pauses after that, because the word dead.
Too bad they didn't show my hand, because when I was talking about fighting the COVID war, that was nice to see.
Why? What did you do?
I was using my hands.
Oh, you were using your hands. You know, what can you do?
Talk about fighting the COVID, the war.
Hey, you can only do what you can do with your hands, and sometimes they're going to have them and sometimes they won't. As you get to better and better stations, you'll get better and better video. Let's continue.
What is most important for people to know when they dial 911? If you're making a 911 call, what do you need to expect in those moments or even hours following?
Okay, great. She asks the question in a totally improper way for what we're trying to do, right? What she's trying to do, like, she's trying to get answers from you which you're not prepared for. And what does Paul Nebb do? So great.
Well, the first mistake to avoid if you're going to call an ambulance is not calling soon enough, especially in the cases of a heart attack or stroke.
She asks you, what's the most important thing to do? And you answer, well, the first mistake to avoid is, as if you're answering her question. And in a way, you kind of are. You're just not answering it the way she asked it. And you know what? You answered it perfectly. Because this is the only way you're prepared to answer this question in a way that's going to make you sound totally smartified. If you try to answer the question the way she asks it, it's not going to come out right. Why? Because you haven't rehearsed it 100 times the night before. Great job. Let's continue.
Where minutes can make the difference between life and death. So really, if you're feeling that urge, don't be afraid, call 911. Go to the hospital. The hospitals are safe even during these.
All right, now, here's my problem with you, Paul, is that you're still not looking at the camera. You're still looking over here. You're still looking over there. Like, what's going on over there?
I don't know. It's me and my laptop.
All right. So look, when you're doing these Zooms, you know what the problem is they're not giving you her picture to look at, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look, do you have a green light on your onboard camera?
I got a white light, same thing.
Great. You got to learn to look at the light. Look at the light and smile. That's what you got to do the whole time. Because what we're trying to do is to make you the only IT guy who doesn't look at his shoes. He doesn't look at your shoes. He looks you right in the eye and talks to you straight in the eyes. Okay? That's what we're trying to make you.
Let's continue.
So really, if you're feeling that urge, don't be afraid, call 911. Go to the hospital. The hospitals are safe even during these times. The second mistake to avoid if you have to call an ambulance is not having a hide key or a combination for your house, especially if you live alone. This happened to me just the other night. Was called out for a lady who fell and broke her shoulder. When I arrived on the scene, there was no way for me to get into the house. The only way, I had to use my shoulder, break in her front door. Now how unfair is that I would have to injure my shoulder in order to help her who achieved this?
Wow.
Okay, now what happened? I never said the word injured. How unfair is that I almost had to break my shoulder to help the lady because she broke her shoulder? See what I mean? That's the line. Make sure you get it next time. See how great it is when you show that EMT patch? That's money there, man. That's why we're doing this whole thing. Okay? All right, let's continue.
Hers.
Oh, and by the way, are you wearing a blue t-shirt underneath the white shirt? Paul?
I couldn't hear what you just said. Am I wearing?
Are you wearing a blue t-shirt under the white shirt?
I am.
Good. It looks kind of blue. It would be better if it was the same blue as the stethoscope. Like, I'd like it to be a brighter blue, even if that's not the real, authentic uniform issued to you.
I couldn't find that shirt. I had a shirt, the one I wore in Vegas, under it, because I thought it popped and was sexy.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah.
You couldn't find it. You lost that shirt. Is that
I
right?
have to replace it.
You lost.
I lost the shirt.
I'm sorry, Mr. Director. I lost my costume. I know I was supposed to appear in Revolutionary War uniform because I'm playing George Washington, but I lost the costume. So I came out in a World War II outfit. All right. Let's continue.
The third mistake to avoid when you call an ambulance is assuming that the ambulance technicians know anything about you or your medical history. Unlike your doctor, who you might see every month or at least once a year, I'm often seeing you for the very first time. So it's important that you share with me anything that might pertain or help me to better treat you. And the fourth mistake to avoid is not having a list of your medications, your allergies. I've created what I call your medical emergency profile. It's available for download on my website, paulned.com. And I encourage you to fill it out, print multiple copies. It'll help ambulance technicians to treat you better, and especially if you're passed out or otherwise incapacitated.
You forgot to say, fold one up and keep it in your wallet.
I might have said that.
You didn't say that.
I didn't finish yet.
I don't think you said it.
Paul, there's always a lot of panic that goes into calling 911. Is that a mistake that people make?
Hey, don't panic. You know, there's trained dispatchers on the other side of the phone. They're there to get you the help that you need. And the ambulance technicians, I mean, we do this every day. There's nothing that we haven't seen, even in these difficult times of COVID-19. You don't want to be afraid or hesitate to call. If you think you need an ambulance, call right away.
Wow. Well, we really appreciate your tips. I know COVID makes things more difficult for you guys this year. We appreciate all the work that you do. Stay safe out there.
Take care. Be healthy.
Thanks so much, Paul.
Take care and be healthy.
Now, how unfair is that I would have to injure my...
So great. This is the highlight for me. There it is. I've been waiting to see that right there for a long time. That's really great. I'm actually gonna post this on my on my Facebook. I'm so happy about this. This right here. Boom. Take a screenshot. I love it when things work out like that. All right. See, you didn't say keep one in your wallet.
I forgot that one. Then I forgot it. I thought I was going to say it.
Yeah.
She interrupted me.
Hey, yeah, I know she interrupted you, and I don't care. I know you didn't get to your 5th talking point. I don't care. I think you did fantastic. You were likable. You didn't rush. You were knowledgeable. You did a lot of the shtick. You had a good mount. She didn't set you up for a good dismount. You came up with a decent dismount anyway. And what was your biggest takeaway from this whole experience of doing your EMT segment for the first time?
Oh, biggest. I mean, always rehearse. Practice the way that you want to play. Of course, I knew some of these things weren't going to work out, and because I was so, I was really focused on trying to not only get the words and the pitch order, that I failed to come up with a good background and good lighting.
Good, very good.
So I knew that up front. The other thing that I wasn't keen on, which also could have made this performance better, would have been my laptop placement. I remember back when we were in the suite in Las Vegas, the height, and you could see more of me. I was constantly trying to find myself in the box.
Yeah.
And that's why the stethoscope is really pulled all the way up, because you can't see my badge.
You're cheating that stethoscope.
Yeah.
To make it a better prop.
Yes.
Great job, Paul. That's really smart. That's really, really smart. Maybe you want to move the badge up. I mean, who cares?
Yeah,
right?
true.
Maybe you just want to put that badge way up here, even though it doesn't really belong there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Really great idea. Now, just so you know, I mean, you see how high my laptop is, right?
Grab Allie's phone and show us.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is, how does my picture look? Do I look like I'm too low? Are you looking up my nostrils, or is it positioned pretty good?
No, it's really good.
Okay, great. What did I do? I took 2 shoe boxes and I put one inside the other. And there's something else in there to give it some weight. And I taped them up using really heavy gaffer's tape, masking tape, like really heavy tape. This is my permanent setup. I got these shoe boxes that are big enough to hold my laptop. They're from Boots I bought. And I set up this big box setup to put on my table. I keep it on the ground next to the table. And before every webinar, sometimes even at the beginning of a webinar, I will pick up the box, put it on the table, and put my laptop on top of the table so that my laptop is always at the right height. And I recommend to everybody, you want to have the camera slightly higher than your nose. That's where it is. And that's going to help you with shadows under your eyes. And that's going to help you with looking good. Heck, it could even help you with your badge. By shooting down, you'll see more of your chest. I don't know. You may not have to move the badge. Okay?
Good.
Now, there's a million ways to do it. It just so happens I'm using the most look, I'm a low tech guy. I'm an old school guy. I don't, as much as I value technology, as much as I have the best technology you can get. I wrote about this in my book, What They Teach You at the Wharton Business School. One of the first things I learned at Wharton was always use the best technology you could buy. Yes, but I don't need technology to raise my laptop off the table. okay? I'm using 2 shoe boxes taped together to provide a nice heavy base, and I use the same setup week after week after week. Yes, Maggie.
How do you know the camera is right under your nose? Like that's in the middle. How do you know that?
How do I know that it's right above my nose?
Oh, so it should be slightly above your nose? Still,
Yeah.
how do you know that? Okay, I'm glad I asked.
Because I can see the light. I'm looking at the light where the camera is right now. I'm looking straight at the camera, right? That light is just slightly lower than my eyes, which means it's slightly higher than my nose.
Okay.
I can see it. That's all there is to it.
Thank you.
And then as far as the background is concerned, I just have curtains. Now, you know, Paul, you could get a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is a curtain. You get, you know, get a curtain rod, or you don't even need a curtain rod. You could just attach it to the wall behind you so that you have a bright orange curtain behind you. Or a bright yellow curtain would be nice.
What do you think of my fireplace background from the other clips?
I don't like it. You know, I'm in favor of backgrounds that are not distracting. Nobody's getting distracted by my curtains. They just fade away.
And Maggie's?
Now look, Maggie has that orange. She's got a couple of sculptures behind her. I personally think there should be a little decluttering. You know, her Wonder Woman suit or Captain America suit or whatever. You know, I get that hanging on the back door. I get it. But for the purposes of a TV appearance, it should just be the clean orange background. And by the way, if I had it to do over again, see, like, look, this gray curtain here is in our apartment in New York City. It has to function for an apartment as well as for a background. Now, if I were to do it again, I would get goldenrod. I would get gold curtains. That's what I would get. And that's what I advise you to get, Paul, for that background. I advise you to go on Amazon, order a panel or a couple panels of goldenrod yellow curtains. Like, remember how great it looked when we were at the Bellagio, those rich curtains that looked like the Tonight Show? You know, get some shiny goldenrod, you know, shiny gold curtains. That's what you should have behind you. All right. Hey man, keep up the great work. I think you're doing fantastic. And I'm really proud of you for implementing the coaching so well that we did the other night. I definitely feel like I'm not wasting my time. I definitely see a lot of improvement and a lot of implementation on your part and a lot more potential. You know, you look, the problem with a lot of people, and I've said this to, unfortunately, far too many people at Celebrity Launchpad, and it'll be very interesting to see the people on this webinar who have not yet been to Celebrity Launchpad, if they will dare to show up at Celebrity Launchpad without learning their script. You know, I think I was a lot more insistent this past Celebrity Launchpad. Up until this last one, I was always, well, it's a good idea. You know, I really encourage you. Well, I've taken it to the next level. If you show up at Celebrity Launchpad and you don't know your material cold, then you're not prepared. You're unprepared. You're unprofessional and unprepared. That's not what you want. You want to show up professional and prepared. Like Dr. Sheethel did. Sheethel did great. Now, I'm really excited to go on, and we're going to move on now to Dr. Sheethel and take a look at this segment. How are you doing tonight, Dr. Sheethel?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm doing well, thank you. It's nice to see everybody.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too. You know, a lot of people, they only show up on these webinars when they have a clip.
I was here before.
It kind of reminds me about when I got bar mitzvahed. You know, when you get bar mitzvahed, you have to go to temple every Saturday for like a year before you get bar mitzvahed, right? And then I remember the cantor said to me when I was up on the what do they call it? The bima? Yeah. I was up on the bima and I basically had graduated from my bar mitzvah. I was basically done. And the cantor comes over and shakes my hand and he goes, "Now don't go pulling a disappearing act on us now." And you know what? I never saw him again. I pulled the total disappearing act. But, this is not like your bar mitzvah. This is a professional development program. You're entitled to attend these webinars for 3 months after your Celebrity Launchpad. If you're part of the Platinum or Titanium coaching programs, you're entitled to attend these webinars for a full year after your Celebrity Launchpad. And I highly encourage you to take advantage of it. We have, Dr. Anna Maria Temples, when she was Titanium, or she was Platinum rather, when she was Platinum, she would show up on these webinars week after week after week after week. And what did she say, Maggie?
Made a huge difference. She really learned from other people, and that's why she's done billions of appearances.
Well, I would say it goes even far beyond that. She said every time she shows up on one of these webinars, she gets an idea for another segment. She emails out the segment that night, and in the morning she's booked on shows.
Yeah, she did say that.
That's what she said. And that's how smart people use these webinars. They show up, they get ideas, they knock out a quick segment proposal. And once you've been on a show like Paul, you did a great job on this show for Fresno. Now you can just hit her up and say, "Hey, I really enjoyed being on your show. I got another segment that I'd love to do for you called blah, 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 blah." And you don't even have to work out all the bullet points. All you got to do is give the hook. That's it. You just have to give the hook. Or what's even smarter is you say, "Hey, here's 5 more segments that I'd love to do for you." And you give 5 hooks. And from those 5, if it's the first time you've been on the show and you did a good job, if you send her 5, maybe she'll pick 1. But when you get to the point where you're like Dr. Anna Maria Temples, if you sent 5, they would say, "Oh, wow, these look great. We'll do 1 a week."
If you were to, like, from the producer side, give some of these performances a letter grade, whether or not the person is, a candidate to be invited back, or...
You're definitely a candidate to be invited back on this segment.
Okay.
I mean, what the hell wouldn't they like? I mean, you got a costume, you got props, you didn't say, you answered the questions, you were smiling. What's not to like? You definitely get invited back off this. You should hit her up and say, "Hey, in addition to being an EMT, I'm also a top cybersecurity expert. Here's a link to some of my clips, and here's 5 different cybersecurity segments I could do for you. If I'd love to do any or all of these in the next few weeks." Right?
Right.
There you go. Send it out. Make it happen. Okay. Let's talk more. Let's talk to Sheetal. Okay. Sheetal, here's your segment over here on Good Day Sacramento.
Now, let me tell you real quick what she did to me. Like, I think it was 2 or 3 days before, she writes me an email and she's like, "I don't want you to do the outfit or the props. Like, don't wear a white coat. Don't wear scrubs." She's like, "Just wear really casual clothes and just have a conversation with me. It's not going to be anything formal. Like, I don't want you talking the whole time." And I was like, okay.
Fantastic.
So that's what it was. And I overnight shipped a hot pink sweater because I didn't have one. So that's what I'm wearing.
Okay, great. And as far as your talking points are concerned, did you just have a conversation, or did you just conversationally use your talking points?
Conversationally used. I tried to get everything in there, but she kind of cut me off at a certain point. You'll see.
I hear you, man. And I've told you, did I tell you that some of them would be like that?
Yeah.
And did I tell you how to handle it?
Yeah. I just kept going.
Good. Let's take a look.
Showed you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to chronic pain. That's right. Well, Tina's standing by with a doctor whose goal is to teach patients to live better and to manage their pain a lot better as well.
Yeah, this is Dr. Sheetal Dikaria from Chicago, and you got a new book coming.
Hold on a second. Dr. Sheetal.
Uh-huh.
I'm giving you a honorary standing ovation right now.
Ah, okay, good. Thank you. I was like, oh no.
Why am I doing that?
Because I'm smiling and I waved to both hands.
Open palms, people. She showed her open palms. Ah.
Thanks.
So fantastic. Let's continue.
Now, tomorrow, right? Is that it right
Yes, I
behind
do.
you? Is that the one behind you? Or is that the first
Yes,
book?
it is.
Break the Chronic
You got
Pain
it.
Cycle. So you're talking about how sometimes people that are on daily medication, they're experiencing more pain, right? And your goal is to help people with integrative ways to do that, right?
Exactly, yes. So my goal is to try to find out the root cause of pain. And what people don't realize is sometimes we're searching for all these reasons for pain, and it's actually maybe their everyday medication that's causing it.
And what you have some listed of certain medications that can cause pain. What are your suggestions? And which ones are
Yeah,
they?
so there's actually 5 medications that could be causing their pain that are very common. The first one is a statin drug, which
All right, why did I just stop?
Well, I started going into my pitch and then I realized I wasn't answering her question, so I switched back. I think that's why I
That's not
started.
why I stopped. I stopped because you said there's actually 5 medications that could be causing their pain.
Oh, instead of your pain?
Thank you. Exactly. It's always you and your, never them and their.
Yeah, okay.
Let's continue.
is a cholesterol medication.
Okay.
And it actually can cause muscle pain in about 20% of people that take it, and nerve pain in another 10%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. What I usually tell my patients is that if you're going to have these symptoms and it's related to the medication, it's usually something that presents within days or weeks after you actually started it, not something that starts years later. So if you think you may have side effects from the medication, just start a conversation with your doctor about it.
Okay, and so that way that doctor and that patient.
Hey, fantastic, Sheetal. You stop
Okay,
talking
thank you.
and you start smiling. Really, really great.
What'd you say?
You stop talking and you start smiling.
Oh.
You're basically smiling throughout, but I love it, especially the point that I'm making is it is so important that when you stop talking, you start smiling while you're listening. A lot of people listen like this. That's not you. You're listening like a beautiful, like an expert who's so like you're the mom that everybody wishes they had.
Thanks.
It's very good.
Can either change medications or figure out dosage, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, what are the other ones?
So the second most common one are actually
Okay, why did I stop?
I said so, your least favorite word.
Correct. Very good. Let's continue.
blockers. That's a blood pressure medication, and one of them is called carvedilol or Coreg. This one actually causes joint aches and backaches in 5 to 10% of people that take it, and it also reduces your level of melatonin, which is a hormone that regulates your sleep. And I have a lot of patients that are taking this and actually suffer from disturbed sleep that respond very well to some supplementation. The other very common one is called nifedipine or Procardia. That one can actually cause headaches in about 16% of people that take it. Now, for blood pressure medications, it's very important you don't suddenly stop them, but you have a conversation with your doctor about whether another blood pressure medication may be a safer one for you.
Okay, now, third one.
The third one is diabetes medication. So metformin is used to treat type 2 diabetes, and this one can actually lead to 15% of people having significant vitamin B12 deficiency.
Now you see that eye closing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you working on that?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I try to just like think about keeping it open, but then the problem is when I'm thinking about what I'm saying, I end up just like
Closing your eyes.
closing. Yeah.
That's a very interesting little habit.
Yeah. My husband says I've done it for years, like, you know, as long as he's known me.
It's very.
And he says I only do it when I'm like, I don't do it with him or like people I'm really comfortable with. I do it when I'm like thinking about what I need to be saying.
Okay, Allie, you're next up, by the way. I know what time it is. It's a very interesting habit, and I guess we'll know that you've become comfortable on TV when you stop closing your eyes while you're thinking. Okay,
That's true.
Now, the issue with this vitamin is that if you're deficient in it, you can actually either trigger or worsen neuropathy, which is a fancy term for nerve pain. Now, in diabetics, they have neuropathy anyway, but this can actually make it worse. So that presents like numbness, burning, tingling in your hands and feet. If you're having these, have your doctor actually take your vitamin B12 levels and supplement you if needed.
Okay, got 30 seconds for number 4 and number 5.
Okay, so the other common one are acid reflux medications like Nexium, Prevacid, Prilosec, super common over-the-counter drugs that can actually cause deficiencies in vitamin B12 and magnesium and cause nerve and muscle pain. I tell people just try to take less of the acid-causing foods and get off of this one, or check your levels. The fifth being antibiotics. Everyday antibiotics such as ciprofloxacin or Levaquin can actually cause a severe nerve muscle joint pain syndrome. The FDA says these should only be used for severe infection. So if you do get prescribed this one, have a conversation about another antibiotic choice that may be safer for you.
Okay, tell everybody your website.
Sure, it's www.drdecaria.com.
Okay.
Okay, great. Don't say sure. Don't agree with the host.
Okay.
Don't agree with the host. It doesn't help.
Even with the conversation, you just.
Yeah, even when she goes, tell everybody your website, www.drdecaria.com.
Okay.
Saying sure doesn't help.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Very good. And look for her book, too. It's coming on Amazon, right?
Yes, it'll be available tomorrow.
Break the Chronic Pain Cycle. Dr. Sheetal Decaria. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
Stay warm. She's saying it's 30 degrees in Chicago right now.
Okay, great. Now you're another one. I wish you had a better background. You have a white background. The white background doesn't help.
Okay.
Okay. You got to get some kind of color. I also would recommend for you that you get a yellow curtain.
Okay.
Shiny. Something that looks expensive.
Okay.
And put that up behind you. And then you would have really beautiful. See the yellow that they have? They have yellow.
Mm-hmm. No, get rid of what's there and just have the curtain.
You know, look, that little, what do they call that flower? That flower's okay.
Uh-huh.
Having your book there is good. And then have the curtain behind that.
Okay.
Good. What did you learn from this?
I realized later that I said more of those, what you're like the sure, the yes, that would like that. I need to just go and answer it. I think I definitely should talk faster at the beginning, I think, to get through the points. And, you know, it just goes really fast. You know, it's really hard to even think about all these things. You're trying to think about what I need to do, like the blinking and the, but then all of a sudden I'm like, it's kind of over, and I was just staring at a black screen. So it was just my first time doing it. And it was just like a weird thing because I didn't know, I was just talking to like the little pinhole and there was no one there. So I learned a lot. I mean, it was the first one. It was really good. But I think, you know, when I look at myself, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of things that I would work on next time. For
sure. I thought you did fantastic.
Thank you.
You're overly critical. I gave you, look, those of you who've been on my webinars know that this was a very, very complimentary and very few criticisms. I've had first time appearances by people where, you know, I just had to pick every single thing apart. In your case, every time I was stopping, most of the times I was stopping was to applaud you. There was very few criticisms that I gave you. This was really, really great.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, great. Hey, I got a treat for all of you. I really do. Anybody who's on here live, you're lucky because we are going to go to a special guest presenter right now. I'm going to stop the share and you are going to have the benefit of the most important person and the best information that I can give you on this webinar. And that would be the one and only Allie. Allie is the one who handles all platinum and titanium. Allie is the one who helps everybody get their appearances confirmed, who's platinum and titanium. She interacts with all the producers all the time. And Allie is going to talk to you right now about what people are doing and what people are not doing correctly and incorrectly, and what's keeping people from getting confirmed, why some people have 5 and others have 1. Okay? And congratulations, you're lucky you're on here, because you should be able to take immediately actionable changes in what you're doing. And here is Allie.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Well, some of you are platinum and titanium, and some of you I just have interfaced with at Launchpad, but obviously everyone gets to know me very well. And for those of you who don't know, is before I was doing this with Clint and I was in the entertainment industry, I actually worked in the news industry, in the newsroom, in every capacity of news. My cousin, was Jessica Savage, who was the first female news broadcaster. I got very ensconced with news, learned everything about it. So I know it from the inside out. So for example, one of our wonderful platinums had a situation where they called her and said, you're not going to be doing a regular segment. You're going to be talked to with a reporter, and they're going to do an interview, and they're probably going to do, it may be live, it may be not. And she didn't know how to deal with it. Well, the most important thing is, especially platinum and titanium, please always, when you're confused about something, because there's so many different aspects of how people can do things, please ask me, because when I saw that email to this person, I knew exactly what they were talking about. So if they assign you to a reporter, what that pretty much means is you could end up doing a live shot with that person, which they may be interfacing you in a live situation in the studio. They may be on location somewhere, or they may be creating a package. What a package is they're putting together all kinds of information about being an EMT or being, a doctor of some sort, and they need someone to fill in the information. So they may ask you a bunch of different rogue questions and that kind of thing. But anyway, that's just an example. But the most important thing is, if you have questions, especially if you're platinum and titanium, ask me. It's very important. But let's talk about, just from your Celebrity Launchpad experience, the most important thing is you need to start off with confidence. And that comes from knowing your material. Now, as a lot of you realized, from Friday to Sunday, you can become a completely different person. Dr. Sheethal, on Saturday, you're like, I can't do this. They hate me. No one likes my segment. I really have no idea why they hate me all. I can't be booked on anything. And I said, you're going to be shocked that the information is going to sink in. You're going to have an understanding of what they're looking for. It's going to flick a switch eventually, and then you're going to get it. And boy, that Sunday, you got booked on just about everything. So it's very important to start out with confidence. Dr. Erin, who has been on, I think she's booked, she's scheduled every single show or pretty much every single show that she's booked, and I think she booked like 12. Well, she, interestingly enough, we told her, you really should get a little more speaking experience. You should come to MBA and learn how to speak, because she speaks kind of methodically, kind of slowly, and she doesn't have a huge amount of vocal variety or animation in her voice. And in fact, 1 or 2 of the producers said that. But you know what? She got booked almost everywhere, and I'll tell you why. When we said she needs more speaking experience, in her mind, she absolutely knew. She goes, no, I can do this. I could go on TV. She had so much confidence that she could do this, that even when a producer said, well, she's kind of like vanilla, or even if they said she didn't have as much energy as maybe Dr. Sheethel or someone else, because they may love you, Dr. Sheethel, because she had some kind of crazy ass confidence, she got booked on the show. They're like, well, she's a little this, but I take her anyway. So, she should hear that too, because she was very, for anyone who was at that launch pad, she was kind of methodical. She was kind of, went about her part. She didn't really have a huge amount of vocal variety. So confidence, the most important thing. So when you are doing a segment and you have that confidence, say you've done your first segment, for example, Dr. Farah, that woman is beautiful. She's so amazing bedside manner. But she doesn't have a confidence. As a doctor, she has confidence, but to be in front of people and speak, she goes, I don't know. And she just comes across a little bit meek. And I think it's because she's coming across so nice. And she thinks that's what you need to do to have bedside manner, but you need to come across strong. You can still be soft, but be strong. Well, I'll tell you something. She just finished her first segment. And I said, if you get the energy going and you get the confidence going, it's going to keep rolling. And boy, she just had her second segment and she's now about to be booked on her third segment. So the confidence is the most important thing. The other thing is when you come to Celebrity Launchpad, you're going to get some kind of direction from me. So Dr. Ilya, you haven't been yet. The rest of you have, but some of you are coming back for Platinum or Titanium. When you get direction from the producers, take the direction. And on top of that, always copy me on everything, because they may come back with something that you don't quite understand. It may be jargon or some kind of terminology that is media related, or it may be something that you may not understand, but knowing them so well, I do. Always copy me on the emails. Chances are the producer will then copy me on their response to you. And when they do that, I'll be able to translate what the heck they're asking for. So that's a really important thing. Always ask me questions if you don't know what they're doing. Because, for example, Michelle and Sybil, who is in Phoenix, she asked a couple of producers to come up with 10 different ideas or a bunch of different ideas that she could call you in 24 hours, 48 hours, and call you on the show. But just to come up with these ideas is not the way that she needs that information. She needs that information in bullet points, not as extensive as a segment, but like, I want this piece of information, the 5 problems with it, and the 3 things you can do to solve it, that kind of stuff. As far as Michelle, when you're writing to Michelle, whether you've been booked on her show, scheduled for her show or not, and you want to, and something is timely and you'd like to get on her show, always with Michelle, if you're sending her a segment, send her 3 or 4 or 5 other ideas, because she goes into production meetings and she tosses out this idea that she thought was great, and she has a different executive producer every 6 months, and she's like, I have this great idea and it's so timely and it's fantastic, and they just shoot her right down. And she knows how to finagle it to get you back in there if she has a couple more ideas. That said, I also know how to do that with a producer. So for those of you who are coming back to a Celebrity Launchpad, or for those of you who are coming for the first time, Clint will create a pitch for you, but then I go into a little room and talk to these producers. And if they say, oh God, I love Paul, right? This happened, Paul. I love Paul, but I don't like that segment. What can we do? Oh, how about this or this or this? All of those. Have him send me all 3 of them and I'll see which works. So I know these producers well enough to be able to pitch something else for you. So make sure when you come to Launchpad or when you come back to Launchpad, that when I get on the phone with them, after your pitch, I know enough about you that I could come up with another pitch. So when they say, I love her, she's so cute and such amazing energy, but gosh, we just did that segment. Oh, well, actually, she's doing another segment, which you may or may not be doing, on X or Y or Z, and that might be perfect. And I know these people well enough to know this one has children. This one has a soft spot for this. This one had cancer. I know everything about these people. So I can spin your pitch to work for them. Okay, so very important. Like, use me when you come to Launchpad. Don't overuse me, but use me when you come to Launchpad to be able to help facilitate and get you more bookings. There, even at this last Launchpad, you know, Maggie, I don't know, is Maggie still on? I don't know, she may have to pop off, but Maggie had 2 or 3 segments that I knew about, and I'm like, well, you know what? She could do this in November, and then she could do this in December, and then for the new year, she could do this. And she got like 2 or 3 bookings from one producer because of that. So it's very important. Now, what I do after the Celebrity Launchpad is I send out like the 13 things you have to do, which is, you know, use Clint's in the back of the book verbiage of the emails that you're supposed to send out. Now it's virtual, but make sure you use his verbiage because they'll know to look for it. Make sure as a platinum or titanium, you copy me on it because they know mommy's watching. And on top of that, what happens quite often is, for example, Dr. Sultan, she sent out a whole bunch of emails, but by mistake, quite often assistants do this, but by mistake, she sent the same, she signed it to the same producer and sent it out to 6 different producers. So she sent that same email to 6 different producers. Now, immediately I saw that because I'm up at 2 in the morning doing crazy things. And I told her to resend them. I said, don't try to correct it. Don't say, oh, I made a mistake. Just resend it because likely they'll get that one before they get the old one, and then they'll never look at the old one. And then I email them saying, hey, Dr. Farah just sent you this, and she's looking for this and this. So, you know, all the bells and whistles that I'm creating and that I'm touching base with the producers will eliminate that faux pas. So that's a very helpful thing. So anyway, the most important thing also for you guys to know is, you know, there's so many distractions right now with what's going on. And, you know, like, for example, Maggie, she's writing a book and she's doing this and she's everyone's doing a bunch of different things and they're speaking. Now, it should all come together, but sometimes we get distracted. And the important thing is make the time. It doesn't take that much time. Make the time to send these emails out 2 to 3 times a week, ideally 3 times a week, but make the effort. And you all noted as to when it's best to get the emails. Please make the effort to send it out because these producers leave the shows. Someone else will come in and then you've given up your chance. Not that you can't just cold call that show and get onto the show, but once you've made a connection with someone, it's very important to get that scheduled. And then Paul and Sheetal also, and all of you, Leon, the most important thing is, you know, when they've liked you, get another segment in there. And if they don't like what you send them 3 more. You know, see what's going on in their local community. You know, if you are a platinum or titanium, get on the phone with Clint or I or look through, there's the members area that you have lifetime access to. So go into the members area and look at old segments. You can completely have freedom to swipe and deploy those segments. There's like hundreds and hundreds of them. Put your name on it, put your own book on it, put your whatever, create it, and send them a couple more segments. Because in a minute they're going to move on and they may have loved you, but they're not going to take you with them. So those are just a few tips. I hope that's helpful. Does anyone have any questions? We're good? Okay, well, guys, we went almost a half hour over, but I hope that was helpful. And have a wonderful night. Clint, do you want to say goodbye?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one sec.
Good job. All right. I want to follow on that for just a second. If you would, you know, handle whatever in that envelope, that'd be great.
That's already done.
Okay, then throw it away. I want to follow on that for 1 second. And the follow on that is this. From where I sit, 3 new messages. Thank you. Yeah, it's only, Ilya doesn't know the difference between platinum and titanium. It's only available once you're a graduate of Celebrity Launchpad, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
From where I sit, I know who wants to be on TV, and I know who only say they want to be on TV. The ones who want to be on TV are on TV. And the ones who only say they want to be on TV are not on TV. Dr. Erin Amato, she's already been on Fox LA. Did you know that, she? Yeah, she's already been on Fox LA. And she sends out her segments multiple times, like 3 times a week. She's sending out segments, and she sends them out at the correct time. Remember, I asked every single producer, what time do you sit down at your desk to look at your emails? Remember I asked that question, Sheetal? That's the time you need to send out the emails, the time when they're looking at their email. You want to be the first email that pops up. And if they reply to you, you need to reply to them back immediately. Don't delay it. I know you're intimidated. Don't delay it. You need to get right back on them. And you need to just keep emailing them over and over and over, 3 times a week at the correct time, and believe and want it. I know there's a lot of people, like I started off this whole webinar talking about Dr. Farah Sultan and saying how her self-image does not coincide with her actual reality. She's way better than she thinks she is. And the people who believe in themselves and believe in this process and do the work are the ones who are on TV. And the ones who don't believe in themselves, don't believe in the process, and or don't do the work are the ones who are not on TV. I mean, I continue to see Danny DeNovo on TV week after week after week after week after week after week. That freaking girl just does not stop. And most of it is cold calls. You're going to see Danny DeNovo on some big shows. You're going to. It's only a matter of time. Believe in yourself, believe in the process, do the work, and I will see you on lots of television. Good night, everybody.